Welcome to the Minimasters, and today I'm going to be installing this very shiny brand new 3-core aluminum radiator in my truck. Let's get started. So before we dive into this install, I just want to talk about the stock radiator for a second. So this is it right here. This thin little factory dirty guy right here, measuring roughly 1 inch thick. Right now in the state of Iowa, I do a lot of highway driving in this truck, at least whenever I take it out. And when I'm in that 60 to 70 miles per hour range, the truck does run hotter. The gauge is definitely reading a little past the, the O and the R in normal, and it starts creeping over to the M and the A. So in an effort to keep the engine cool, which isn't a bad idea, especially in the summertime, I am upgrading to this much thicker, so we're measuring about 2.5 inches thick aluminum 3-core radiator. And if you're looking at buying one of these, when they talk about cores, if you look kind of back in here, you'll see that there's like this aluminum piece, and there's a brake, there's another aluminum piece and a brake. Those are essentially your cores, okay? So this one I got from Rock Auto. There'll be a link in the description. It should fit factory, and I have reason to believe it will because the ends here, see how much wider the end cap is relative to the radiator itself? So that should work. And then the shroud here has plenty of room to push forward. And the nice thing is, at least then it will cover the top of the radiator fan, which means this hose does not have to pucker all the time when it feels like it's gonna get shredded. So let's start by draining this guy. So if you guys want a really cool way of draining your radiator, here we go. Typically, you guys would undo one of the radiator hoses, probably the lower one, and you'd hope to get it off and douse it into a bucket before you make a huge puddle on the floor. Well, most of these radiators come with this little valve right here on the lower passenger side, and it has a little inlet off the side. So I used 3/8 fuel line, and I put it on there, and then I've got that really cool hose clamp with the red handle, and using a 20mm socket, that kind of like faded yellow piece, you actually unscrew that and it will actually let the fluid out. From there, I have it going into a bucket. Since this hose is relatively new, I just zip tied the wrench on there so that it stays put in the bucket rather than curling up and causing a mess. All right, let's give this a shot. I'm loosening it right now. You should be seeing a trickle. There we go. Now, admittedly, this thing works about 80% right there. So pretty good stream going in the bucket. We're starting to fill up. But also, there seems to be a little bit dripping past the valve. So I have a pan here collecting it because this thing's bent and it collects there and shoots right out. If you want also to have a really steady stream, definitely remove the radiator cap. If not, you'll have that suction effect like a straw and it won't let out. So I'm gonna let this drain into the bucket and then we'll start disassembling. So in an effort to keep things moving on while the radiator drains, I'm gonna start removing the upper radiator hose and some of the other things up top, knowing that the radiator is fully drained. So just tip this up a little bit. Sometimes a little fluid can build up in there. I think we're good. Grab it with pliers and pinch and move it over there. And then you just kind of work it off. There may be a little fluid that comes out, but okay. All right, that's pretty good. So moving over to the driver's side, take this coolant overflow hose off. And then there's actually another like stub out right here that normally feeds a throttle body if you live in kind of colder climates, but I have a cap on there. And I do want to bring that over to the new radiator, so we'll take that off. So again, working along the top, I'm going to take this bolt out of the shroud. There's two of them. There's one here and there's one on the other side. The other side's actually broken. You can actually see my shroud is already starting to crack here. But 5/16. So with both of your top bolts here removed, there's nothing really keeping the radiator fan in place other than the actual fan itself. But we don't really need to remove it in order to take out the radiator. So I'm just going to push that off to the side. As you can see, I can see clear down the one side. The only thing that's keeping it from sitting farther back are these transmission cooler lines. So as soon as those are disconnected, I should be able to snug this one back. So let's go to those next. All right, so getting our 1/2-inch wrench and a 5/8, we're going to remove this transmission cooler line. There we go. All right, so just quarter turn at a time, take that one out, and then I'll go to the bottom one, do the same thing. So here's a quick tip. So this transmission cooler line came out nice and easy. There's nothing really dripping from it, but if you did, I have these little silicone rubber plugs that you can put in there and you can keep it from dripping. I suspect the lower one will drip. I'll put these in the description, but super handy for plugging up lines that you just don't want dripping all over the place and making a mess. And again, just for visual reference, I'm going to this other lower transmission cooler line down there, and I'll loosen that one up, use one of my little red plugs, and we should be free of those on this side. All right, guys, so you can see I got this one undone. It was stuck in there pretty well, but a little PB blaster, I'm ready to go. Now, the lower radiator hose. So just beyond there, you see that green back there? That's my pan. So you'll definitely want something below here because we know we're gonna splash quite a bit. Otherwise, you guys know the drill. Just come in here and pinch that clamp off. Okay, now to wiggle it off. That's really stuck on there. All right, whoa, there we go. So we're at that monumental point where there's only two things holding your radiator in place. And that is quite literally this mounting bolt here and one on the other side. So get your, let's see what we got going on here, 10mm socket. And just take them right out. As you can see, pretty loose. There are no fasteners holding the bottom. It literally just sits in two channels. So all you can do is, get this out of the way, is lift right up. And there's some spillage down there for sure. There we go. I'm gonna give you a quick tour now that the radiator's out. So you can see there's a pretty big space in there. Here's those rubber channels that your radiator sits in. This was actually pretty smooth. I was just getting hung up on some wire that goes to my headlights and then over here on this AC thing, because those legs that hold your radiator down there, they wing out quite a bit. They just snag on things. So before you can throw this new radiator in your truck, there's a few things you have to do. As they say, some assembly is required. So first you'll need these isolation bushings. So you need to put those in there. I've gone and done all this stuff already, but it's not too difficult. Little thin screwdriver helps pry it and get it through. So one on either side. And then you'll need to add these little clips. They just go in and clip down in place. That's what holds your radiator shroud from just like falling out the bottom. And then this one also comes with this little nipple cover and hose clamp. If you remember, I took one off. That one does not fit this. The actual diameter of this is much smaller. So lucky for us, they sent one with us. I've looked at these. I'm thinking I'll tighten these on when I go and put the actual cooler lines up to it. And the fittings look like they taper. So I don't suspect that I'm gonna have to use any Teflon or anything. And nothing was used on the old radiator. And matter of fact, now that we're looking at it, you can see what I mean by there's this whole section on either side where you could have had another set of cores. So right here, those little dimples, that would have been a 2-core radiator. And then again, just like I said, there's those clips that we've now added to our new one. Comes with these handy caps. I'm gonna keep these on here right up through the install. Comes with a new cap. Let's put it in. So you guys probably noticed I'm wearing my OBS Sunrise t-shirt. It has the OBS Sunrise image here on the front and on the back. I have this t-shirt with another one and a whole bunch of other stickers on my merch store. If you go down the description of this video, click that link, you can get yours today. So I've got my fan shroud down in there. I put it back and we're gonna start putting this in. So I'm gonna angle the passenger side down first. The wing on it is much bigger, or sticks out further than the driver's side. And I'm just going to slowly lower this down in there, aiming for those little rubber U-channels. So I've got them in both. And then I'm just negotiating around some of the wiring and other things I've got. So as of right now, it's kind of sitting right in the top of those little channels. And I just need to push it down into place like that. And once I do that, I can see that my bolts that hold the top line up with the holes that are already here. So I'm going to finagle that a little bit and then bolt it in. So I've maneuvered the radiator into place. I've got it to line up at the top. If you struggle with this, just know it's okay. I struggle with it. I end up having to put my foot here and pushing down to get these things to line up. Now they are. Tighten them in. Okay, we're rock solid now. So guys, at this point, everything goes back normally. So I'm gonna get all of the hoses, all of the coolant lines, everything hooked back up, and I'll bring you back for the filling up. And then actually I'm noticing already there'll be some retrofitting of the fan shroud, but at least we can knock those out. You guys know what that looks like, and I'll bring you back. So I've got everything all buttoned up, and I've actually already driven the truck because I had an emergency with my silver truck. But upper radiator hoses have been added, fan shroud attached and solid, filled up, radiator or transmission cooler lines have been attached. So I want to cover three things with you real quick. So one, with the fan shroud, I did need to retrofit it because none of these holes actually lined up with anything. So I ended up drilling a hole here and using that quick nut on there and a bolt. On this side, I ended up using a zip tie because that mount there is cracked. And I've actually decided that I'm going to get a new radiator fan shroud. So no biggie there. Item number two, you really want to make sure that these cooler lines are tightened down. I actually had like a little bit of a leak out of these. And part of it's just because it's so hard to get these lines to just line up just right. But believe it or not, these can be tightened down pretty far. So notice that's about like a little bit under an 1/8 inch before you know they're actually tight. Third thing, filling up your radiator. I was hoping to walk you guys through this because it's just not as simple as dumping fluid in there and then hitting the road. So when you do this, you want to fill it up until it's about right where it necks up to the filler. Turn your truck on for about a minute and then turn it off. And one of the things you'll notice is the fluid level has gone down. And what it is you're starting to cycle that fluid through all of your hoses and your engine where it has been drained. And then what you'll do is you'll add more fluid, turn it on, run it for a minute, turn it off, check. And you do that until the fluid level stays the same. And that's how you know you've got enough in there to have a good circulating coolant system. Otherwise, guys, that is it. That's how you install your radiator. I really hope you guys enjoy this. Cool your truck down this summer. Pretty simple stuff. And I'll see ya.